Let's get started.
Welcome to the Financial Purpose Podcast. All opinions expressed by me or guests of the podcast are solely our own opinions and do not reflect the opinion of Life Moves Wealth Management. This podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for any investment decisions. Clients of Life Moves Wealth Management may maintain positions in the securities discussed in this podcast. Back to the Financial Purpose Podcast. My name is Dale Shafer. I'm your host. And this is episode 95. Today, I'm going to talk to myself this entire episode. You're welcome to listen in. If you're somebody who talks to yourself, then maybe you'll relate to this. But the reason I'm going to talk to myself is because the topic today is something that totally applies to where I am, what I'm currently feeling about, and mostly it's time pressure. And I think that I've heard that there are a lot of people who are feeling this, especially now that summer's kind of coming to an end. Kids are going back to school, college classes are getting ready to start. It's just, there's a lot going on. Everybody's trying to wrap up last minute summer things and transition into fall. And we're starting to think about, the end of the year is not that far away. And so all these things I need to do. And so I'm going to talk today about how to stay productive when you're super busy. And this is for anybody who's feeling overwhelmed, overscheduled, wondering how to keep your head above water, have too much to do and not enough time to do it. And I think that this is important because being busy is not the same as being productive. Activity is not the same as driving results. And so I want to try to tighten that down. Again, a lot of this is kind of me talking to myself in the mirror through it. Some of this is going to be helpful to you. I hope it's helpful to you at least. And so I'm going to give 5 things to go back, because if you are busy, what's the old saying is like, you feel like you're busier than a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. And that's the way I have felt lately, because I have my real job managing money and doing financial planning. I have a nonprofit that I'm president of that is planning our annual basketball game, which is super fun. It's at the end of September. This is our 3rd year doing the basketball game, and it's adults playing basketball in a competitive game that raises money for kids. And we have a lot of fun, and we have mascots, and we have dancers from the Suns, the Phoenix Suns. They come out, and it's a blast. So, but we're in the final planning stages for that game and trying to get tickets and sponsors and things like that moving. I'm on the board of another nonprofit, which is in its fundraising cycle. So there's a lot of activity there. And then I have another business that we just closed on about a month ago. And so we're kind of getting our ropes there, and there's just a lot going on. So these 5 things are going to be helpful to me. As I was writing the notes, I self-identified some of these things, and I'll point those out to you, and then let's see where you fall in. So if you're feeling busy and overwhelmed, this is for you. Number 1, prioritize ruthlessly. Focus on what actually matters. So you can do anything that you need to do, but you can't do everything, and certainly not at once. And when you're busy, the temptation to try to get everything done is going to lead to burnout, because what happens is you end up working early in the morning to late in the evening, and you sacrifice sleep, you sacrifice nutrition, and that doesn't always mean that you don't eat well or have enough water. It might mean that you have a lot of other things. And so, you end up with what I still called the COVID-19, which is where you gain 20 pounds because you're not taking care of yourself. And so that is a huge recipe for burnout. And by the way, sleeping and getting good sleep is a great way to control calorie burning and to reset for the next day, and to give you the energy and the focus that you need, because there's a certain extent where caffeine doesn't do it and shouldn't do it, because that leads to all sorts of other issues. So the way to get around this is to use the 80-20 rule. This is the Pareto principle. You can use it, shows up all over the place in life, but here you would use it to focus on just 20% of the tasks that drive 80% of the outcome. And that's usually the way it works out because, again, not everything that you're busy doing is helpful to you. So ask yourself every morning when you start the day, or even before you start the day, even better, if I could only get one thing done today, what would that one thing be that makes the biggest difference? And then write it down. And then anything that's urgently attached to that goal, write that down. So that way, you know, when something else is coming in that's not either serving that goal for the day or the 2 goals for the day, don't overcomplicate this by having 6 goals for the day, because you'll end up leaving things behind. Focus on 1 or maybe 2 things that are most important. What are the urgent tasks attached to that goal? And then anything else gets filtered out. So if you do this every day, what's going to happen is you may have some goals that take more than 1 day to complete. So sometimes it's helpful to think about it as the week is coming up. So instead of getting the Sunday zoomies where you're stressing out about having to go back to work on Monday, or you're just like, I just know the emails are going to get started. I just know that Monday's going to suck. If you start with that mindset, guess what? Self-fulfilling prophecy. So instead, on Sunday, sit down and look at the week ahead, plan the week. What are the meetings that you have each day? Write those down. And then what are the things that you need to get done? What are the urgent tasks associated with that? Because what you're going to quickly find out is that if you start Sunday and you go into Monday with feeling like you're already out of control, this is a really good way for you to take control of the week and drive the week instead of the week driving you. So write it down. Question what is on your schedule. If there are things that are on your schedule or meetings on your schedule that don't belong on your schedule, or that you know you shouldn't be doing, or that you know is going to carve out more time than necessary for you to complete the other things that are more important, move those meetings, cancel those meetings, reschedule those meetings, do what you need to do to move the business forward, to move your productivity forward. This, by the way, starting by controlling the week and controlling your schedule, it's a great way to eliminate work that we just collect over time that doesn't need to move the needle forward. This is going to help you identify things that either need to be delegated away from your time and tasks, or that need to be outsourced to somebody else, or that need to just be completely eliminated with a little bit of process efficiency. So great example of this is about 1.5 years ago. It might even be a little bit longer than that. A friend of mine was using a remarkable writing tablet, and I saw that. I'm a big note taker, so I saw that and I said, I might want to check that out. So I bought the remarkable tablet, figured out that I could sync it with my Dropbox. And so what I was doing prior to this was I would print out note sheets for my client meetings. I would write notes as things were happening during the meeting, to-dos, just general notes about what was happening for the client, what needed to be done, what they were experiencing, whatever. And then I would scan those notes into my Dropbox, and then I would sync them to the CRM, and then I would shred the paper. With the remarkable tablet, I turn on the tablet, I pull up the note sheet, I write on the tablet, I press a button to sync it to Google Drive, and I'm sorry, not Google Drive, my Dropbox, and I'm done, because it goes right to the client's folder in Dropbox, and I don't have to scan, I don't have to shred, I'm not, doing all the duplicate like paper and printing and all of that stuff. And what's really cool is at the same time, I also, because I use Zoom and Teams, and I don't like Teams, so I try to use Zoom mostly for client meetings that are virtual. And I have an AI note taker that captures transcripts and recordings of the note. And after the meeting, it sends me a copy, which I literally just copy and paste into the CRM. So now I don't have to transcribe or type out meeting notes, because it provides that for me. And it sends the client the same copy of the notes. So I don't have to send out a big recap of here's what happened in the meeting. Here's all the things that you said. Now, I will still do that. I will still say, hey, here are the 3 or 4 most important things I heard you say during the meeting. Here's my next steps and here's your next steps, just to summarize that. And it keeps both myself and the client on task, but I'm not sending them a 2-page thing. And so that's really helpful to everybody. It makes that way more important. So the whole scanning and printing and shredding, eliminated. The, spending another hour to recap the meeting and send another email or just send something in the mail, eliminated. And it's very helpful. Okay, number 2, time block your calendar. This is a great way to own your time. So time blocking is simply assigning specific tasks to specific day parts or parts of your day. Sorry, the day parts is coming from my little stint in radio back when I was younger. And but it's specific time slots on your calendar. It helps you be intentional, but also take action when you're supposed to take action on very specific things. So here's a very simple format, and I'm going to give this, but I will caveat, this only works for people whose brains are most efficient in the morning. There are some people who have their efficiency sweet spots are in the middle of the day or late in the afternoon or late at night. There are a lot of online tools that you can use to assess what's best for you. My brain likes to do really good, highly productive analytical work from like 5 a.m. to maybe 10 to 11 at the latest. Anything after 11 a.m. is more taxing for me to do deep analytical things where I need to be totally locked in, focused, doing math, doing problem solving. My brain wants to do it earlier in the morning. So from, say 8 to 10 or 7 to 10 as the format, that's when you would do your deep work, strategic thinking, analysis, content, creation, anything that is going to be client facing that needs high representation, high thinking, high level thinking. You want to do it then. From 10 to 11 or 10 to noon, maybe that's when you clear out your email inbox, respond to things. After that, you can do meetings. Later in the afternoon, do a couple of quick follow-up phone calls if you need to do those. And then finally, at the end of the day, you can kind of wrap yourself up or do what we call a stand-down meeting, which is where you say, okay, what happened today? What needs to happen tomorrow? And the day before, so like today, at the end of today, is the best time to kind of get reset for what you need to do tomorrow. If you start your day with what you need to do on the day, so say, like today's Tuesday. If I started today's not even Tuesday. See, this is why I'm doing this podcast. Today's Wednesday when I'm recording this. So if I started my day today with what I need to do today, I'd be in trouble because I'm already behind the 8 ball. So yesterday, before I left the office, I wrote out on my day planner, because I still use a Franklin day planner. Franklin Covey, I use the 2-page day planner, which I love because I have my schedule and tasks on one page, and I have a whole page where I can take notes on the other side. But I wrote out what I needed to do today, yesterday. And so that's a really helpful way to do it. Do a daily wrap up, do a stand down meeting, what happened, what needs to happen the next day, and then you're ready to go. So you can do time blocking for things like thinking, for rest, for creative work, or exercise, because burnout kills that kind of productivity. And here's the reason why this is important. Time blocking and even some of the I might actually save this because I want to get through the other things, but no, I'm just going to say now so that way I don't lose it. Here's why time blocking and the next thing I'm going to say, number 3, which is saying no more often. The reason why this is important is because if you look at my calendar, I have Mondays blocked off for analytical work, start of the week work, marketing stuff, content. That's usually when I record the podcasts, all of that. I have Friday blocked off to do finish work. If a meeting gets scheduled on a Friday, it's because I scheduled it. It's also when I might have time to go have lunch with a client or something of that nature, or maybe get a late start in the morning or whatever. So I give myself that time. Also, time blocked Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. is exercise time. Now, if I allow myself to schedule an 8 o'clock meeting, which has happened almost every day for the past 2 weeks, guess what doesn't happen? The exercise time. Why? Because my exercise time is on my bike. So I have to get up, prepare myself, prepare the bike, prepare my water, have a nutrition before I go on the bike. I go out on a 45-minute to an hour long ride. I come back. Then I have to put the bike away, allow my core temperature to cool down so I can shower, because if I don't, then after my shower, I'm going to sweat through my work clothes, which nobody wants to do. And I know that sounds gross, but that's the reality of it. So I need to cool down, then shower, then get ready. Then I have to do my language lessons because I'm committed to doing language lessons 15 to 20 minutes every day. I've been doing it since the middle of April, and I missed one day, and I felt so terrible about it because it's important to me. That's something I've committed myself to because I have a very specific language goal that I want to accomplish, and that's going to come in October. So it's now August. I have to make sure I'm doing my language lessons so that way I can speak. So what I want to do, I'm learning Italian. My wife and I last year volunteered for an Italian festival, and we got to pour wine in the Tuscany area. And so they had the festival split up into the 5 regions of Italy. We were pouring wine in Tuscany, and there were several people who came up to the bar that spoke Italian, and I needed to go get a translator. So I thought this year I'm going to be the translator. Like, I need to be able to ask these people, do you prefer red wine? Do you prefer white wine? This bottle is not that expensive, or this one's a little more expensive, or you can get it over at this store. And so I need to be able to say those things confidently in Italian for myself. So I got to do my language lesson. But if I don't prepare and I don't time block and I don't say no, then what happens is I haven't been on my bike for a week and a half, right? And so when I'm not on my bike, I get cranky because I need the exercise. Because if I don't have exercise, then I'm not burning calories. I'm not getting that level of endorphin that I need, that helps me start my day well. I feel accomplished. I feel like I've done something good for myself. And when that doesn't happen, I see it start to show up, and it increases the burnout. So time blocking is very important. You want to make sure that you can do what you need to do with no distractions. Protect your meeting zones. So another way that I have time blocking done is I only do networking type things on Thursdays. That's it. So if somebody that is a related person, like a CPA or an attorney or a business broker or somebody else that's in my network, if they want to have coffee, Thursday's the day that can happen. If they want to have lunch, we look at Thursday. Client meetings are predominantly on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, which happen to be the most productive days for client meetings for both myself and I have found for my clients. If I meet with them on a Thursday, they're thinking about Friday. If I meet with them on Friday, they're thinking about the weekend. If I meet with them on Monday, chances are those meetings are going to be very quick and very cluster effed because they're thinking about what they need to get to next. Tuesdays and Wednesdays are the best days for those meetings. So that's what you do. So think about your calendar. Think about the best use of time. Think about when you're best equipped and thinking about certain tasks, and then just block those times and then stick with it. Okay, number 3, say no more often. Protect your capacity. This is an area I struggle with because I want to do a lot of things. And sometimes I'm like, oh, what's another meeting? That's no big deal. What? That's only going to happen once a quarter? Sure, yeah, throw it on the calendar. But when that meeting comes around, I go, oh, man, I should not have said no to this. Or, yeah, I'll be on this committee with my Rotary Club or with this nonprofit that I'm part of. Yeah, I'll be on the committee. Sure. Yeah, that's no problem. Once a month? Yeah, okay, I can do a meeting once a month. Right. So being productive requires your yeses to get strengthened by the things you say no to. And so if you're saying yes to every meeting, every opportunity, every request, like I have a tendency to, you're probably saying no to your priorities and things that are most important without even realizing it. So that's why things like with this nonprofit, which is Scottsdale Leadership that I'm on the board for, when I told my wife that I was asked to consider interviewing again for the board, because I interviewed last year and was not chosen, so I was asked to do it again this year, and then I was selected. And I told my wife, I said, "Hey, I'm going to be on the board for Scottsdale Leadership this year," and she says, "Of course you are." And so, or if I say, "Hey, I'm going to be on the committee for the golf outing for Rotary," she'll say, "Of course you are." Which, by the way, I'm not. If you're in my Rotary Club and you heard that, I'm not on the committee for the golf outing this year. I'm not. I simply can't. So anyway, you don't. Here's the thing with saying no. It feels rude. It feels you feel terrible about saying no because you want to be helpful, or these people are important to you, or the thing is important to somebody, but it's not as important to you, but you don't want to say that. So here's a couple of ways that you can say no. I'm going to use this first one. I'm going to write this down, maybe tattoo it on the inner side of my arm here so I have it readily available, but just simply say, "Hey, thanks for thinking of me. But right now I'm just focused on other priorities, and I need to have capacity for those things. Adding this means that I won't serve you well. And I want to make sure if I'm going to say yes, that I want to commit." And so that's a great way to do it. That's, a little bit of like the old breakup thing where it's not you, it's me, right? Just, "Hey, I'm just, I'm focused on other things. Thank you so much for thinking of me. It's a high compliment. I know that I can't give what you're asking me to do my full capacity and my full brain power. And I just want to make sure if I say yes, I serve you well." That's a great way to do it. And so I know I can't serve you well. I have to decline. Or you can also say, "Hey, this is just something I can't take on right now. I appreciate the opportunity. Please keep me in mind for the next one." That's another great way to do that. So very important to, again, strengthen your yeses by the things that you say no to. And if you look at, I know I talk about Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett a lot, but these guys they're some of the wisest guys that we were blessed to live on the planet at the same time with. And it's like, I think Warren Buffett would say, out of 100 things that he gets asked to do or gets asked to invest in or gets asked to consider, 98 of those are a no. 98. So he's looking at 2% of the opportunities that come across the desk. So you might consider creating a not now list. And these are ideas or tasks or requests of your time or investment opportunities or committees or board seats or things that seem interesting but may not align with where you are this year, this month, this quarter, this season, however long that season is. But you keep a list of these things. These are things that I would like to do at some point, and I just need to prioritize when I can say yes to these things. And again, going back to the time blocking, this is why I only allow certain meetings certain times of day. This is why even my scheduling app, which is Calendly, only allows a certain number of meetings per day. It only allows a certain number of types of meetings per day. So, for example, it will not allow me to meet with more than 2 prospective clients in any day because there's a lot of work that goes into those meetings. It won't allow me to do more than 1 annual meeting with a client in a day because there's a lot of work that goes into those meetings, and those meetings are longer. It won't allow me to do more than 1 getting organized or onboarding meeting in a day because those are the longest meetings that I have, and they're very data intensive. So, and there's preparation time on each side of the meeting. It also doesn't allow somebody to schedule same day or next day because I need time to look through what needs to be done for the meeting, look through prior notes for that client. What did we talk about last time? What needs to be done? What are we looking at accountability for? So, all of those little boundaries that I put in place are ways that I have said no to things that are being requested of me. Before I did these boundaries with meetings, I had people who would schedule literally the same day, and it throws off everything that I had planned. So if I had things planned, why didn't I have that blocked? Why was I saying yes to whatever hit my schedule that's out of my control? Don't do this to yourself. Don't say yes to too many things because then you keep in mind, when you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else, right? Um, it's like the Rush lyric, if you choose not to decide, you've still made a choice. It's the same thing. If you said yes to this, you said no to something else. So just make sure that you're very clear, and what you've said yes to needs to be the highest priority things that move the biggest needle forward, that help you move toward your goals faster and more efficiently. On that note, number 4 is to use the 2-minute rule to clear out clutter quickly. Now, I'm going to give this one, and then I'm going to put a giant asterisk on it and do the on the other hand kind of thing. So here's the point. This is from David Allen's book, Getting Things Done. If something takes less than 2 minutes, do it now. This eliminates mental clutter because tracking or even delaying 15 tiny little things, it actually burns more brain power to delay that thing than it does to just get it off your desk, answer it, sign it, send the quick email. So if you get something that needs a quick response and you know it's going to be a quick response, just do it. And please, for the love of God, do not be the person in the world who replies all with thanks. Please don't do that, because then everybody on the email thread has to delete that, or they feel the pressure to go, no, thank you, or you got it, dude, or something stupid like that. Don't reply all. Just reply to one person, or just let the thanks be implied and just delete yourself, right? Don't create a bunch of more work for other people by being the reply all person. So anyway, that's just my personal pet peeve. But if you get an email that needs a quick response and you know it can be done, just do it. Get it done in the moment. But here's the caveat. Because if you're in a time block and you're working on something that's more important, maybe don't have your email inbox open. Because if you're in the middle of something vital and you're doing one of your goals for the week and you're deep in analytical work and you're moving the needle forward, you're working on the business, you're working for this client, you're getting something very important done, constantly task switching to answer those 2-minute emails is going to delay your ability to be productive on the most important thing, because what's going to happen is you're going to be working, the email's going to come in, you're going to answer it. It's only a 2-minute thing, but research suggests that it takes you 5 to 7 minutes to get back into the work that you were doing. And in the meantime, if another email comes through or another, hey, got a minute pops open at your door, which, by the way, if got a minute is never a minute, those meetings. Got a minute meetings are never a minute long. They're always longer. And so now you're pulled completely off the most important things. So don't be afraid to close your email program and don't open it. If you're like me and you have notifications coming through on your watch and on your phone, put those things on the other end of your desk or in your backpack or in your briefcase or purse or whatever, the next room. Feel free to eliminate those things. Put a sign on your door that says that you're in do not disturb mode, right? Or oh yeah, put your phone on do not disturb mode. That's another great way to do it. And then just get that thing done. And then when you're done, then you open up your email inbox, then you open the door, then you talk to people, then you take the got a minute meetings, then you return the phone calls, do all those things. But if you find something that keeps coming through or that comes through that is longer than a 2-minute response, if it requires more thought, if it requires another conversation, if it requires multiple people, defer it, delegate it, time block it, whatever you need to do. But don't let it live in your inbox, because it's going to tie up headspace. It's going to be a nagging thing that needs to be done. And so you want to make sure that you just be able to get it done, delegate it, get it away, eliminate it, whatever that needs to happen. Okay, number 5, and this is the last one. Start and end the day with attention. Build the bookends. So the way that you start the day and end the day determines your productivity more than what happens during the day. So I've already talked about planning your day the day before, so that way you start the day with everything that you need to do. You don't start the day by trying to make sure that you can write out or that you get everything that you need to do and then start the day. Start it ready to go, right? It's like if you've ever been in track or you've ever been in a foot race, when you're on the starting blocks, all you have to do is run. When the gun goes, you run. You don't get on the starting blocks and then start stretching and then start, adjusting your clothing and then, make sure that your shoelaces are tied, right? All that stuff is done. You get into the gun. So when you wake up the next morning, you're in the gun, or you're in the blocks. Sorry, I should say you're in the blocks and the gun starts when the alarm goes off or when you wake up, boom, that's the gun. And then you just hit the ground running. So that's what you want to do. That's starting the day with intention. And then you end the day with intention by doing a stand down. What happened in the day? What got done? What are the loose ends that need to be done for tomorrow? Write those down. And then what did I learn? What needs improvement? What can we do better? Who do I need to help improve? Something like that. And as I said, I use the Franklin Covey planner. You might use an app on your phone or a tablet or something, or if you're still writing things down like I do, whatever it is, keep a daily log, keep a task list going, review it often, because here's what happens. If you don't keep track of what needs to be done and prioritize those things, your brain is going to turn on at 2:30 or 3 a.m. and you're going to be turning in all the things that you didn't get done or that need to be done or that you forgot to write down or a phone call that you forgot to make or something that you forgot to tell this person that needs to be done. Ask me how I know. The 3 o'clock wake up, brain turns on, thinking about things, turning around how to solve problems, all the things I didn't do happens to me often. And it's because there's a lot going on. And when I fall down on these 5 things is when my brain turns on at 3 a.m. So, and by the way, pro tip, if your brain does turn on at 3 a.m. and it starts thinking about all the things you have to do, get up, go somewhere in your house, write down everything that your brain is turning, just write it down and then leave it there. Go back to bed, do a couple of deep breathing exercises, and you'll be able to get yourself back to sleep most of the time. So that way you can at least recapture some of that, because that whole thing where you toss and turn until 3:30 or 3:45 or 4, and then you get up and you start working. I do that too. And it just makes the day even longer. It makes you even more tired. It actually, for me, makes it harder for me to go to bed later at a good time. And then that means I start the next day already behind because I'm feeling tired. So keep a notepad, keep a note app, write down the things that you need to do. And that's going to give you clarity. It's going to give you focus, and it's going to give you momentum, because as you're getting things done, you're going to feel more accomplished. So ending the day with that reflection is very helpful. Starting the day with what you need to do because it's already been decided, that can be very helpful as well. So let me wrap this up and let me go back real quick as a recap. The first thing that you can do to be productive when you're busy, because again, being busy and doing things does not mean you're being productive. So here's how to do it. Number 1, prioritize the things that move the needle. What's the most important thing that you need to do today to move the needle forward? What's the most important 2 or 3 things that need to be done this week to move the business forward? That's number 1. Number 2, time block your week with intention. What are the things that are most important? Do they need a 2-hour time slot? Do they need a 4-hour time slot? Do you need to block off an entire day to do these things? Do you need to move a meeting so you can time block for something that's more important than whatever was going to happen in that meeting? What I'm not suggesting here is to blow off your clients, because you're going to have bigger problems because you're going to lose business. So don't blow off the things that move the needle forward. But if you have things that are less important than the main thing, make the main thing, right? Number 3, say no more often to protect the things that you're saying yes to. The things that you say yes to need to be the most important things, not the things that you feel guilted into or the thing that you think you should do or the thing that just kind of seems like a nice thing to say yes to. Be very, very protective of your yes, and you strengthen the things that you say yes to by the number of things that you say no to. Number 4, use the 2-minute rule to reduce clutter. If something can be done quickly, if an email can be answered quickly, if a check can be signed quickly, If a report can be shoved in a folder quickly, just get it done, move on, clear it off your list, get it out of the way, give it to somebody else, ask somebody else to return a phone call, ask somebody else to get something that needs to be done for you, ask somebody to file this, whatever you need to do. If it's a quick task, just get it done. Because the more that you delay and the more that you stack those things up, it's going to be a much, much longer to-do list. You're going to burn out. You're not going to want to do any of those things. And then you're going to keep punting and punting and punting. And then finally, number 5, start and end the day with purpose. Start the day before. So decide at the end of today what you're going to do tomorrow. And then tomorrow, start the day by doing those things. And then at the end of every day, do a stand down meeting with yourself or with your team. What happened today? What got in the way? What was helpful? Where were we productive? How did we move the needle forward? What are the things that need to be done tomorrow? What's most important? What are the most important urgent tasks associated with the most important goal? Write it down, decide, and then everybody has the marching orders to start the day. So remember, people, if you sit down with somebody and you're like, hey man, how are you? And you're like, oh, busy, so busy. Well, everybody says they're busy. So if you're going to say you're busy, it's not that impressive. It doesn't sound that cool anymore because everybody's busy. So what you're doing when you're busy, being effective, that's impressive because you can say, oh man, we did this thing. We had this happen. Like, this is a really cool thing that we got accomplished. Now you're actually starting to have a conversation with somebody, because when you say, oh, I'm so busy, I go, yeah, I'm busy too. That's the end of the conversation. But if somebody says, oh man, let me tell you about this really cool thing that we're working on right now in our business, or we just closed the best deal ever, right? Or something like that. It's not bragging. You're actually communicating something that is worth talking about rather than just being, oh, busy. Yeah, busy. Yeah, we're all just really busy. Whatever. So be effective, talk about those things. And if you need help with these things, there are great life coaches, there are operations coaches, there are all sorts of people. There are mental coaches, there are people who are accountability partners to help you set these things up, protect your day. You might consider hiring an executive assistant to help you do this, but there are ways to do this to help you align your goals and your time and your energy. And as a financial planner, with what I do every day, the more organized you are, the better our meetings are going to be, the better I can serve you as a planner, because it's literally like we have planned your time and your energy and your focus in your day. Well, now we can plan for the things that we need to do financially to move you forward. And so all of this ends up serving you monetarily. It ends up serving you with your big goals, because ultimately what you want to accomplish is a money goal. Even if you say, I want to bring on 2 more clients this week, that's attached to a money goal. It's attached to a financial outcome. And those are the things that I can help you do. So if I can help you be organized with your time or give you some suggestions on that, I'm happy to do it. Send an email to info@lifemoveswealth.com. I might refer you to somebody else who actually does that level of work every day and is really good at it. But I might say, hey, have you considered this? Or, hey, this is what I've done for this. Or, hey, yeah, I'm working on that too. Here's what I'm doing. Let's try it together. Let me know how it goes for you. I'll let you know how it goes for me, that kind of thing. So, yeah, send an email to info@lifemoveswealth.com. Always, you can go out to lifemoveswealth.com, hit the schedule time with me button, and I'll be happy to connect there. So, thanks for listening to this episode. Thanks for watching this episode. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share this with somebody who's feeling like they're the one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest, because they might want to try some of these things for themselves. They might be feeling burned out, and any one of these tips might help them kind of put some parameters and some really good what's the better word that I would say, like maybe some time blocking, or put something in place, some I'm missing the word here, barriers, I think is the word maybe I'm looking for, but just put something in place that protects your time, protects your mental energy, and all of that good stuff. So if you're drowning in to-do list, listen to this episode, save it, bookmark it, whatever you need to do, and feel free to use any of these tips. And I'm happy to share with you how I'm doing on these things as well. So that's it. I'm going to go get busy. I've got work to do. My list has already started, and it's already been defined, and I know the things I need to check off, so I'm going to get to it. You go be a boss, and until the next episode, take care of yourself. See ya. Thanks for listening to this episode. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. To learn more about your financial purpose, visit lifemoveswealth.com.